Hello, everyone, and welcome to Flop Soup, a podcast for stewing on flops served to you weekly. I'm Justin.
I'm Cassandra.
And Cassandra, how are you flopping this week?
As always, thank you so much for asking, Justin. I am flopping this week because of a very classic reason. Tale as old as the American government said it should be, daylight savings time. I forgot about it. Also, because I do want to call out the American journalism establishment. I feel like there was a bill that passed the House but not the Senate that was going to get rid of daylight savings time. So I feel like some people thought that it was like over, but it's like not over because that bill never like became law.
Right.
But I just feel like the chatter around it died down this year and no one was tweeting about it. So I didn't know that it was gonna happen. Because also like I feel like my iPhone didn't tell me, like, is there not an alert that we get that says like, heads up, bitch, it's daylight savings time tomorrow? None of that happened. I woke up.
Call me a bitch and tell me to wake up.
Yeah, call me a bitch, tell me to wake up. I woke up, I looked at my clock, which, you know, I have old-fashioned clocks in my home to try to avoid looking at my phone every single possible second. And I was like, okay, it's 8:30 a.m. I went to the bathroom, I started looking at Twitter, and I'm like, it's 9:30 a.m. I must have read the clock wrong. I'm so silly. And then I went back in and I was like, oh my God, it's daylight savings time. We're behind on the day. Thankfully I didn't really have anything to do, but like I woke up this morning feeling bad. I like had a meeting at 9:30. I have a 9:30 standing meeting every other Monday, which is hellish. And yeah,
it's kind of once you kind of like miss that launch off, it's kind of like it trickles into the rest of your week.
It super does. So yeah. I'm hoping the pod will lift me out of that. Famously record Monday nights. I will say the Oscars was like a nice thing to like try to distract me from being mad about losing an hour. And I guess
award shows as a tonic.
Faster. Yeah, award shows as a tonic. And also, you know what else I'll say? I don't think they mentioned daylight savings time at the Oscars. It's like, did it stop being a universal experience? I just feel like no one has been talking about it.
You're being very 2000 and late right now, as the Black Eyed Peas would say.
Yeah, it feels that way.
It's a 2000 and late experience. No, yeah. The Oscars had many other things to bring up and remind us of and against our will, but we'll get into that.
We'll get there. All right, Justin, how are you flopping this week?
I stayed up after the Oscars, after they ended delightfully on time, to finish up The Last of Us. The season has come to an end. They've completed the material of the first game, and I have woken up. I have opened my eyes to realize that the show is mid at best, and maybe even a solid 6.5 out of 10. Honestly, I know I feel like you were so kind to me throughout this whole period because I could tell you were like trying to highlight the positive feelings you were having about it while not mentioning the negatives. But I was like, Cassandra fucking hates this show so much. Like I could already tell.
No, it's not. It's not that I hated it, and I did genuinely enjoy the first like 3 episodes. But then it just became too much. and I don't do well with like really, really defeatist, like sad sort of torture-y television. Which sorry to The Last of Us, but it really became that after a super strong start. It just became like really brutal to watch. Like every episode was just like, wow, this sucks. This is so bleak. And like it didn't seem like it was going anywhere besides like maybe there will be a cure, but it just like it feels like you're so like sunk into the trauma that doesn't even like matter, and it just wasn't serving me. It just wasn't serving me. And Pedro is doing a nice job. Bella Ramsey is doing a nice job. Everyone is acting, although I didn't love Melanie Linsky's guest part. I don't think that's her fault. I love her usually.
I think that's where my brain started to be like, wait, think about this. Like, can this be good if Melanie Linsky is not being good in it? Like, I don't know.
It's not delivering. Yeah, I'm not sure. And it was just, Yeah.
And you as like such a, famous ally to the gay community, you saw episode 3 with the gays and you said, enough, I cannot watch this any longer. You've crossed a line. I cannot see.
That wasn't the last. No, that one was like fine. I mean, it was a little ridiculous, but it was like it was
what is the song on the nature of daylight? What is the song?
that they sing in the
song that
episode.
plays. Yeah, or
Oh my
not the
God.
not the Linda Ronstadt song, but like the background song that they play that everyone was like, "Fuck you guys for playing this song!" Like it's played in every sad song. Like I
Oh, I
forget what
actually
that's
don't
called,
even know what you're
but
talking about. I only know the Linda Ronstadt one.
ah. But yeah,
Oops.
basically they played this other like cliche sad song, kind of instrumental, like towards the end, and as part of their score, and people were like, "You guys are so cliche." But either way, I got to the end. Um, I don't know. I feel like part of me is like it hit the trauma stuff, but the game is traumatic, so I expected that. But then I feel like they kind of muddied the waters by like trying like I don't know. I can't even form thoughts about like how it was. It just didn't strike me the way that the games did. I think like I, I hate to be that person, but like there weren't enough zombies. There just weren't enough zombies. Like the zombies are really cool. You made a really cool zombie. And like, you know, the thing in the second episode where like they introduced the fact that like they communicate to each other, and then that weird kiss that happened to Anna Torv,
Yeah, yes, I do remember that.
never seen again. We never
Really?
see that again. Yeah. I was like, that's such a cool thing you just did. That's not in the game. I would love to see how you work that into the plot of this series, but then
Yeah,
you never
you know
did
that's
anything with
true.
it.
You lose like the zombie touch, and then you get more into like the actually the humans are evil, and then it's kind of
The
like
humans are the bad. Yeah. I
it's
know
like I
that. I
fucking
know
know.
that.
There's so
Like
much stuff about that. Like, I
yeah,
know that they're
every
bad. I know
day.
about that. I live in the
Yes. I know
world.
religious people are bad. Well, I'm sorry. Like but like they introduce all these
Just
different
it's like
ways
we're
that
going for
humans
the
are
Catholic
bad.
Church for some reason now.
But they introduce all these ways that people are bad in like the classic way that like I feel like most HBO viewers are like, yes, I'm familiar with the ways that humanity is flawed. But like, yeah, it's just I
It's
don't know. It just didn't hit me the
it
way that I
didn't
wanted
hit.
it
It
to.
didn't hit, you know?
Yeah.
It's not a flop, but it's like I think it's turning out to not be such a smash hit. I feel like some people have been realizing this as the season goes on that it's not really giving them what they wanted to because it really is a
Yeah.
fantastic pilot episode. Like I was wrapped watching
Yeah.
that episode of
Because
TV.
they had so much time and like hope ahead of them. But then as it went on, they spent a whole episode doing this like flashback that didn't really needed to happen. They like then the final episode was only 45 minutes when like the
You
first
didn't
episode
like
was like an hour and a
sorry,
half.
you didn't like the lesbian flashback episode? That's interesting. The one with the lesbians?
I thought I don't know. I
That's
played the
interesting,
DLC.
Justin.
I bought the DLC. It was so here's the thing though. That was not part of the game. They introduced it as like downloadable content after the game already came out, like like half a year after the game was released.
Downloadable
And
content is what DLC is. Is that right?
yes,
Okay.
DLC downloadable content. They usually make you pay like $20 to $30 for like another like hour to 2 hours of gameplay.
Okay.
Is what most games do. But yeah, and that was filled with action throughout. I felt like the episode just like it was a lot of storytelling that like I don't know,
It was
it
too many
just fell a little
lesbians.
flat.
Just
I
say it,
don't know.
Justin. Just say
Yeah, that's what I hated for
it.
sure. No, like no, I honestly I thought like Storm Reed did an amazing job. I thought Bella Ramsey did an amazing job. Like, but it just like the pacing of it just I don't know, it just felt
Just
it
didn't
was a little
work.
slow. I'm sorry. Like
Pacing is a
I
big
want the
thing.
prestige, but I also want the I don't know. Like I feel like adapting a video game, we don't have to sacrifice the thing that makes video games so fun to play, which is the action of it. Like we can still
Yeah.
sprinkle that in throughout. I don't know. But yeah.
I'll say this: rewatching Will and Grace has been serving me well.
I'm so happy to hear that from you. Like, ooh, like Will and Grace was like it for me. Like in high
It's
school, coming home at like 3:30, like throw
and
that
it's on
on
Lifetime or
is amazing.
whatever. Like it's so good.
Yeah, it's on. It's on. It's on. I'm assuming you haven't. You're still like going through like original content with that. You haven't gotten to the reboot of it all.
I won't be watching that. I saw one episode of that by
Smart.
accident like 4 years ago, and I was like, nope. David Schwimmer was
Yep.
a guest on the episode, and I was like, nope, that's okay.
Oh yeah. As usual, you are so valid for doing that. That's yeah. That's don't
I don't
do
need that.
that.
That's okay. That's okie dokie.
Yeah. Few reboots succeed, like Party Down is doing right now.
Oh my
And
God,
Will
so
and Grace,
good.
the reboot is not one of them.
Sorry, that's
Yeah,
not floppy
but-
content, so I don't think we can cover that.
Yeah, we will skip on ahead to reading our reviews
Reading
for
our
this week.
reviews. Okay, I'm gonna go first.
Again, thank you so much to the audience for reviewing us. We love it so much, and we love you so much. But yeah, Cassandra, go on ahead with your review for this week.
This is from my friend Eden, who says good soup with the emoji that's like okay sign. Okay. And then she writes, longtime podcast hater turned listener thanks to Flop Soup. It's funny, it's on point, it's giving. Love to convert a podcast hater. As I used to be a podcast hater back in the day. I used to be like, what's up with those? That's kind of a while ago now.
Yeah, your skeptic instinct kicked in, and reasonably so. But yet here we are today doing
hosting a podcast. Hell yeah.
My review for this week is from Brian in Sweden. It was just left this past Saturday. The title is Flop Soup has gone international, which is so true. Because this person named Brian is in Sweden, which we love.
Sweden.
Yes. Yeah. We look at our metrics on the platform we host this on, and they're like, oh, a listener in Sweden. And we're so excited about that. And now here they are speaking to us, which I love so much. They say, Brian says, as an American living in Sweden, this podcast really scratches the itch of needing to discuss flop culture with friends instead of the blank Swedish stares I usually get in response to questions like, how self-aware is Cocaine Bear? Or is Pedro Pascal daddy, uncle, or mother? I get hot takes, nuanced thoughts, and hilarious quizzes from Cassandra and Justin. Shout out to hot producer David for the tip. Thank you, hot producer David.
Shout out hot producer David. We're always saying that on the pod.
Doing the good work. But yeah, and thank you, Brian in Sweden. And thank you to everyone who's reviewed us so far. Again, please leave us a rating and review. You can review us on Apple Podcasts. We appreciate it so much. It really helps us out. And we'll read you on the show.
I will also add that I learned this week that you can leave reviews on Podcast Addict, I think it's called. So if you use that, you can leave a review with words there. So that's an exciting new place that we could all be typing. So thank you so much again to all of our listeners.
We have some corrections this week because Cassandra's friends like to point out when she's wrong, and my friends just let me flop and don't tell me. So
or Justin is just always saying accurate stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna do
possible.
I'm going to do my own quickest correction, which is me correcting myself. Last week, when referring to pop singer Pink, I called her P'_NK. It's actually P!NK. And that was just me talking too quickly. So sorry to P!NK. Still love you. Still think you should start a podcast.
You silenced the exclamation. Pink needs the exclamation.
I silenced her most important trait. Okay, so my next one is from a while ago. One of my local flops was a YA book coming out called With or Without You, which is about two teenagers who work at rival cheesesteak trucks.
In LA, you would work at rival cheesecake factories.
Yeah, but here in Philadelphia, you work at rival cheesesteak trucks. And we were talking about how funny the name is. Because it's like a reference to how you order a cheesesteak, but I explained that incorrectly. So I said that With or Without You is about Cheese Whiz. What I mixed it up with is that when you order, the special way that you're supposed to order a cheesesteak, when presidential candidates come to Philadelphia to try to prove that they're hometown boys or girls.
Sorry. The guffaw. Sorry.
You order a cheesesteak whiz wit. So the whiz is Cheese Whiz. The wit means with onions. So I said it was with or without cheese. It's with or without onions. So that's what the title is referencing. That's what whiz wit is. I apologize as a native Philadelphian. Also, it's so crazy that it took that long for somebody to correct me explaining that.
Yeah, but go through our backlog if you're a new listener. We love that. We'll correct
go through the backlog
if you listen.
We have sexy local flops every episode. And then our final corrections corner is are we doing this one?
No, we're doing this one. We're doing this one. I don't know what I have to say, but
here's what I want to say. We were talking about Lucas Gage and whether or not he was coming out the other week, and recently I was on Instagram actually following accounts on the Flop Soup account, and somehow I ended up on comedian/actress Meg Stalter's Instagram page. She's famously on Hacks and like got really famous doing Twitter videos during the pandemic. And I was then Insta stalking her girlfriend. I was like, oh, she got a girlfriend, because I had heard her on a podcast talking about being single. And I'm like, now I'm interested in how she has a girlfriend now. So I'm looking at a picture on her girlfriend's Instagram that's like of her and Meg Stalter. And Lucas Gage, the actor, has commented the phrase "I'm wet" on a picture of them. And I'm thinking maybe he is gay. That's giving LGBTQ community to me.
Right. It's that overly familiar language that gay men tend to use with their female friends, is what you're saying.
Yeah, like it's giving
it suggests
like
a level of intimacy that you wouldn't want a straight male to approach you with on
right, exactly. Like a straight guy commenting "I'm wet" on a photo of two women making out is actually like report that to the police. Like report it to the police. Like that is not allowed. But a gay guy doing it is like, that's so funny. I love you.
That's so funny. I love my gay friends. I love gay guys. I don't want to take a stance. I don't want to predict people's sexualities, but unless this motherfucker tells me he's gay, I'm not going to say he's gay. I'm not going to do it.
That's
because
fair. I'm
if
just
if you want to play stupid in my face, I'll be stupid right back to you. I don't care. It's still okay. Also, they were at Lucas Gage and Chris Appleton were at some award show, and I saw a video of them like on the red carpet on TikTok, and like they quickly like they loop arms like around each other's waists, and then very, very quickly Lucas Gage reaches for this other guy who's like next to them and pulls him in. So now it's not just the two of them, it's like three. And then the account is like, oh my gosh, Lucas Gage and Chris Appleton make red carpet debut as a couple. I'm like, again, they have not said that they're a couple. Haven't. I also want to say I have a screen. I took a screenshot of something that I was reading at the time about this because I just needed to know where I was at. When asked about like if he is dating Chris Appleton, this is the most the other two gay baiting episode that has ever existed. He says, if they want to think that, they can. Gage told the New York Times of romance rumors in an interview published March 9th. He then says, I'm a pretty open book about most things in my life, but I have a problem with the culture of everyone needing to know everybody's business and nothing can be sacred. It's a weird line that I'm still trying to figure out. So make of that what you will, you know, There you go.
That's
whatever. Moving on.
That is so, let's just pitch the other two on HBO Max. Hilarious comedy about show business starring a child with a Justin Bieber-esque career trajectory whose two older siblings are basically flopping all around him. Excellent television. There's a really good episode about an actor doing this exact type of gay baiting. Whether or not Lucas Gage is actually gay, he's definitely engaging in gay baiting.
There's this whole thing, people can or can't gay bait, you know, whatever. I feel what I feel. I just have to be honest about what I feel. It is I guess episode 8 of season 2. It's called Pat Gets an Offer to Host Tic-Tac-Toe. So if you're interested in a really funny comedy, you should watch that episode of the other two. Anyway,
100%. Okay, that's all we have for the corrections corner.
Sandra's like backing up. You're like, okay,
we've said a lot there.
You have screenshots. Okay, anyway.
Justin has screenshots. Okay, that's all we have for the corrections corner. We're gonna move on to our banter for this week, and baby, you know it's the Oscars. They were last night. And TBH, they were kind of like whatevs.
Whatever.
But they succeeded in being an award show, quote unquote, without incident, as Jimmy Kimmel like wrote down at the end of the show or whatever that gag was.
I feel like this was such a reactionary Oscars in that the last Oscars like had a big moment that we all talked about, whether or not celebrities liked that moment happened and whatever. But then this one, in reaction to that, there were no moments to really talk about. Well, we will talk about things, but
we'll talk about
it still felt like, you know, I don't know. It was devoid of like, I don't know, just like intrigue.
Pizzazz.
I don't know.
I think it lacked pizzazz. So we'll start from the beginning. Jimmy Kimmel did a perfectly serviceable monologue. It's important to remember that he is the most reliable of the late night hosts. Like he delivers in the sense that he is telling jokes and they're not so bad every time. But yeah, he did a monologue, like pretty funny. He did a good dig on Scientology, something about L. Ron Hubba Hubba. You can watch the monologue. He addressed the slap. We don't need to address what he said. It was serviceably funny, and that's great. And then he like returned a lot throughout the show. I feel like more than the average host might. Including this like bit with a couple audience members where first he jokes with Malala and asks if
first off, like, let's talk to Malala first.
We're starting with Malala, and he's like, oh, do you think, in reference to the Don't Worry Darling press tour, which he didn't even say out loud, which I thought was interesting. It's like so famous that he doesn't need to say it. Do you think that Harry Styles spit on Chris Pine? Which was like really going for something right off the bat. And then she said something that sounded scripted. I'm curious if it was, which was, I only want to talk about peace. Is that what she said? I'm only interested in peace.
Yeah.
Which was a good answer.
Of course.
But it was also
brand
just like
safe. Like
yeah, like Brand is good. Brand is good. She was seated next to her hot husband, which we love for her. It's just kind of like, okay. And then where did this bit go? He starts talking to Jessica Chastain about Matt Damon in reference to his like decades long feud with Matt Damon, which is like,
yeah, on this lore between you two. But like Jessica Chastain, famously like one of our most humorless actresses, you know, like to approach her is like, you're just setting yourself up. I get like, you know, she's on TikTok, she's trying it, but again, like it, you know, she takes herself
who she is.
seriously,
very,
and
like,
you know, I respect that. Yeah, be yourself, Jessica Chastain. But
sure.
like, if I'm a host at the Oscars, I'm not going to approach Jessica Chastain first. I will say that. But
yeah, it was. I don't even know who he asked second. I don't remember, but it was just like it was like a weird set of questions that didn't really go anywhere, and I was like, okay. And that's how I felt the whole show. I was like, I don't know, a couple things got some giggles out of me. There was some joke where he called TGI Fridays CGI Fridays. That landed with some people at my viewing party. It didn't land with others. You know, he's in the middle. He's in the middle.
Yeah. I'm not mad at him. He did what needed to be done. I think he did a okay job. Again, like I think like the canned bits, it felt very just, you know, I didn't have any kind of reaction to any of it really. It just kind of like felt like, I don't know. It was fine though. You know, I'm sure people enjoyed that. But then Camp Queen Elizabeth Banks walks on stage and brings what needs to be brought to the comedy of the
cocaine
of the show. Yeah, first of all, like walks out, trips on her dress. Everyone's like, like we're awake, we're up. What's next? You know, she steps up to the mic. As she's stepping to the mic, a huge bear is following her because her thing is I directed Cocaine Bear. Isn't that so funny?
Women's rights.
Then she's women's rights, of course. You know, as you many times have said, like she is giving us female Michael Bay, and that's important.
Yeah, well, I would say I used to want a female Michael Bay. Now I think she's serving female Todd Phillips. So the Hangover guy.
May there be a Cocaine Bear 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's
may the cocaine cubs come forth.
Cocaine cubs. Cocaine Bear 3D, everything. And then she speaks and her voice shot. Don't know what happened. Don't know what's going on, but she like just.
Oh yeah, she's like, hey everyone, what's up with the Oscars? And you're like, wait, what?
It's Elizabeth Banks, your good time gal. You know, like
yeah, I have COVID. I'm on my 4th drink. Like, no, she doesn't have COVID, but it was crazy. Yeah. Like, it was crazy the way that she sounded. And she's like, here's my cocaine
she
bear.
Does some bits with the bear.
She presented for visual effects, and she was like, shout out visual effects, because otherwise, this is what the bear would look like in the movie. That's what she said. And it was like, honestly, the bear looks pretty good.
Bold.
I actually thought the IRL bear looked okay. Like if the movie had that in it. Spoiler alert, I saw Cocaine Bear. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, but that says so much about the state of CGI. You're like, oh, that's passable. Like that vaguely resembles a bear. Check. Like that. I love that.
Yeah. We can move on to, I think, the whale as concept. That's probably villain of the night. Besides, well, 2 villains of the night, right? Like the whale.
2 villains emerge.
And the whale is villain,
of course,
1.
Villain. Going into the night, the whale is villain because you see things from this movie. You're not liking what you're seeing. Like it's like what is going on in that movie? But second villain that emerges is All Quiet on the Western Front, because literally every time they win an award, which is more
They
awards
won
than I thought they would
they
win.
won a lot of technical awards. I think they won at least 5.
Yeah.
Including like for
And
score, which was expected to go to the Babylon guy, which was also weird.
yeah, he came ready for that too.
But yeah, production design, like the vibes were just, it was weird. Like they would win and then everyone was just kind of like, okay.
Yeah. And like every time they would go up to announce an award, as you do, you play a piece of the score from the movie that is winning. But like, of course, All Quiet on the Western Front is a devastating movie about the horrors of war, how war is bad. And the score matches that. And we get every time they go up to get an award, and you're like, whoa, like the vibe shift of the room
It
is
like just comes
damn.
down. And then it's like German people.
Yeah.
And I hate to have to say this, but they're
Oh,
not so
not good for the
charming.
vibe.
And so it was a little tough. It was just a little tough. It was a little tough. It was a
Yeah.
toughie. Like nobody in
Yeah.
that movie is anybody that you're like caring a ton about. But it's like a weird mix of like, okay, so the people aren't that famous who are in it, but then it's like a really like just kind of like not hack, but it's like a prestige genre. So it doesn't feel like there's anything new. So it's like,
Yeah.
sorry to these people
Also-
who it's their first movie, but I don't really care about them because they're doing the most boring thing that they could do. A lot of people are not about the Jamie Lee Curtis win, which I get, but
I mean, it's the nature of the internet. Like everyone's dunking on Jamie Lee Curtis, and you know, being
we did
pissed off
that
at
in a
her
flop
for
suit
winning.
meme. We're not going to hide from that. We did that.
We did that, but she gives good award show face. You know, you got to use her when
does.
you can.
Yeah,
and,
she
You know,
does.
that's what our celebrities are for. But
I think she started
yeah.
to campaign hard for herself by saying Michelle Yeoh in every interview, which is an interesting path to winning.
Yeah, she played the like, I support this cast so much, and everyone's like, that's so cute that you
Yeah, that's
do, and then like,
amazing.
let's
But
give
it's
you an award too.
yeah, it's tough because
But
it's like not anyone's favorite role of hers. Like we're getting a lot of like she should have won for Freaky Friday, which is not untrue. And she's
Filmed at my high school,
she's
by the way.
doing work. Oh, what?
Yeah, filmed at Pacific Palisades Charter High School. That's my
Oh my
high
God,
school.
wait,
Yeah,
you're from
also
you
filmed
went to the
there.
Pacific Palisades
Also
Charter
filmed
High
there.
School?
Yes, I did.
The
Also filmed there Teen
Palisades.
Wolf. Also filmed there The Biggest Loser many a time on our football field. The Biggest Loser.
Okay,
Many
trigger.
obstacle courses were set up for The Biggest Loser.
That is so many fun
It's-
facts all at one time.
There you go. Yeah, I was there. You have to go to school while The Biggest Loser is being filmed, you know, directly next to you as you're on the marching band. And
Not to be
you're
so
also on the
inside.
football field.
Oh my God. Not to be so inside LA baseball, but so you went to high school in the Pacific Palisades?
I did.
Wow. Did you like see Billy
did.
Crystal on your walk to school or stuff like that?
No, I did not. But I was, you know, Diana Silvers of Booksmart and Ma, the lead
Actually,
in Ma.
super no. The lead in Ma.
That's
like,
fine. Yeah,
is the
she was
lead
the
in-
like final girl of Ma.
Oh, okay, but not. I would argue, and let me argue
Well,
this.
the lead
that
is
the lead in
Octavia
Ma is
Spencer for sure.
Octavia Spencer.
Yeah, good point. Actually, so valid that you said that. But yeah, so yeah, but we have some people. I did not see Billy Crystal though.
She went to your high school. I just feel like I've like so many celebrities like famously reside in the Pacific Palisades. I just read like
They
a profile of
absolutely do.
Eugene Levy where he's like, I love my little house in the Pacific Palisades. Anyway, but yeah, Jamie
Yes.
Lee, like, so she won. It's viewed as like a sort of legacy win. Like she has a long storied career, whatever. But she's also up against Angela Bassett, who also would have been like a legacy type of a win. And it's just like a weird thing because both of their roles are like not the best, right? Like Angela Bassett's in a Marvel movie that's like not really super well reviewed. Jamie Lee Curtis is in a well-reviewed movie, but like she's kind of like not even remotely the most interesting part of it. So it's like both of those things are clashing up against each other. I am kind of the opinion that, and then of course there's the Stephanie Shu, who was like so good in her breakout role, but she'll definitely be in other things where she gets nominated. I think she's like a rising star. I think she's got so much press from this. She made a really funny face when JB Lee won, when Michelle Yeoh won. She's photographed like she's a star. That's great.
She performed with David Byrne.
She performed with David Byrne because Mitski didn't show up for that song, which was interesting. I have to say, I don't care much for David Byrne performing IRL.
Oh, 100%.
That was not
100%. I'm
that was not
right there with
giving.
you. I know we didn't talk about this in prep, but that was not giving.
No, it was
all.
not giving. You know who was giving? Our girl Lady Gaga. She sang the hell out of "Hold My Hand."
There you go.
Strip
Oh
down,
my God. I know
unplugged.
you all. I know you all were, I know you all were turning a skeptical eye to her when she showed up in, a t-shirt,
in black
jeans
Converse
with the knees ripped, and black Converse, an outfit that I wore literally all the time through like 2010 to 2014. But
It's Justin Core.
you know what? That's mother. Like that is she mothered. Okay.
I am your mother.
She was
vocals
like she
down.
was singing. Like she was like, don't you for 1 second think I am not singing this song right now. Like she was singing. And she was like, hello, cameraman. If you're not inside of my nostrils by the end of this performance.
Oh, what the hell? I was like, wait, let us get into this outfit at least. Like this, this normcore outfit.
We need to be looking at like what quality of denim is that. The songs were a fun part of it. The songs were fun.
Yeah.
That was
interesting. I mean, not to like, holy shit. I was like, I haven't seen the movie, but I was like, what goes down in this movie?
Yeah.
Like, oh my
dancing.
God.
I mean, I think it's like Bollywood core. Like they're doing like full scale numbers.
We kind of diverted from the whale of it all.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I mean, it was it's just tough. It's like tough. They won for makeup and hairstyling, which I feel like highlighted it the most, right? It's like they won for like doing a fat suit basically, and like that's just like kind of gross. And like fat people keep saying over and over again, this movie is fucking offensive. Like, please stop praising it. And so it's tough because Brendan Fraser, beloved, actor who's having kind of a comeback, like wins for it. But then you're like, I guess I'm happy for Brendan Fraser, but I'm really not happy with this movie. And no, I haven't seen it, but I feel like I'm gonna hate it because of what everyone is saying. And yeah, it's just I read
pieces of the script for it. The slur slinging Sadie Sink of it all. Like, what the heck? Sadie Sink plays Brendan Fraser's daughter in that movie, and she is
being brutal.
She's slurring down. Yeah, being really brutal, and like, let's just say, like, keep those Stranger Things kids in the Stranger Things of it all.
Yankees. That's big Yankees for her. Also, like the clips that were played, like I was like, yeah, this is confirming my theory that I'm not gonna have fun watching this. Like the clip that played for Hong Chau's nomination, which again, can hardly believe she's in that movie. It was just like, I don't know, like he's just gonna die, leave him alone. Like it's just like,
oh yeah, that
why
clip was
is this like the story that we're perpetuating? I don't know. So it was hard to like have that movie be in the conversation so much. I'll say this: Darren Aronofsky didn't get anything, so huge. That's huge.
Huge.
Normalize it. Doesn't have a big picture nom. That's all good.
The shot of them accepting the award, and then you have like in the background, like the body.
This like voyeuristic like shot of him in the fat suit, and you're like, okay, great, like
great, good job,
really not great.
Well done. Here's a big gold trophy. Yeah,
it was just I'm happy for that movie to like be in the rear view because I don't really see it having any staying power.
Which streaming service would you put that on?
Probably
I'm getting Apple TV.
Yeah, Apple TV, like I could see like
some far corner of Paramount Plus.
Yeah, Paramount Plus is a really good answer, actually. Yeah, because Apple TV, I feel like isn't so willy nilly, but I feel like Paramount Plus would be like, okay, yeah, I guess we have The Whale too in our like warehouse of film.
Yeah, and Drag Race All Stars season 6.
Yeah, you can watch them back to back if you want.
And those were most of the Oscars.
One thing I want to call out: Sarah Polley won for Women Talking. That was great. Good to see a woman win a thing. A woman. I just
a woman.
The movie wasn't amazing,
inviting
but
her
it was
on stage
good.
to talk. Yeah.
To invite her on stage to talk. She definitely did a little dig at Mark Wahlberg where she was like, it's amazing that people weren't afraid of the title Women Talking. Okay, so we were talking about the songs. The songs nominated were Hold My Hand, the Everything Everywhere All at Once song, This Is a Life, the Natu Natu song from RRR, which won, and Lift Me Up from Black Panther. The fifth song is a song by Oscar legend Diane Warren. So she's like a legend for being like an Oscar songwriter who like has 14 nominations. Okay. So
Right.
I have a little quiz.
A few wins, but yeah, go ahead.
She has 0 wins. So she's
Yeah.
Diane Awards flop.
Oh, she hasn't won once.
She hasn't won a single one. This is her whole thing. They gave her an honorary award last year, and then she came back this year and she lost again. And just to be clear, she doesn't sing anything, but she was on stage for the performance of this song playing the piano as the woman who sings the actual song was singing.
Yeah.
Did I think
also
I
want to point out, Diane, if you're trying to conjure an image of her, if you're on Twitter as much as Cassandra and I are, a lot of people like to say that she looks like Ghislaine Maxwell. And so a lot
Also
of the
true.
photos that she takes with celebrities, because Diane Warren is at award shows all the time, they're like, oh my gosh, Ghislaine, oh my gosh, linked to Ghislaine Maxwell. Like, and then, yeah.
That's so funny. I actually didn't, I was going to say that she looks kind of like Liza Minnelli, but now I realize that all 3 of those women look like each other. So that's, okay, question. Diane Awards flop Warren just lost her 14th Academy Award for Best Original Song for a song called Applause from a movie called what? Reminder, you watched the Oscars last night, so you should know the answer to this. Is it A, Sing It Like a Woman? B, Say It Like a Woman? C, Tell It Like a Woman? D, Explain It Like a Woman? E, Woman-splain It Like a Woman? Or F, Feminism It Like a Woman?
Each one. What was the second one?
Say It Like a Woman. The third one is Tell It Like a Woman.
I'm gonna say Tell It Like a Woman.
This is the right answer. That's the
okay,
right
amazing.
answer.
But that was truly a guess. I just felt like that was, I don't know why. I really did not. I panicked. Yeah.
Okay, so
sung by Sophia Carson. I don't know. I've never seen that person before in my life.
Yeah, I tried to do a question about her, but she's like a Disney girl from Austin and Ally, maybe like.
Whoa.
Just like who even knows? Like I have no idea. But she's 29. She's not like 21, so that's also confusing. Okay.
What?
So Tell It Like a Woman is an anthology film starring Eva Longoria, Cara Delevingne, Marcia Gay Harden, and Jennifer Hudson. What user score? Oh, did you need me to say their names again?
No, I mean just name after name. Like my God.
Name after name. Name after name. What user score out of 10 does Tell It Like a Woman have on IMDb? Is it A, 7.0, B, 5.5, C, 4.0, or D, 3.5?
I want to give it like a solid. The second one was 5.5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give it a 5.5. How about that?
Wrong. Unwise. It has a 3.5 out of 10 user score on IMDb.
Oh my God.
It's like
we don't have to nominate her. Like
right. Like what? that's just
were
to
there
illustrate
other songs in other movies?
Right. Like the absurdity of nominating this song from this movie that like 0 people care for, no one has heard of, no one has seen. Like that's completely insane.
Not one.
Okay.
Wow.
We're done with this year. Okay. Which of the following is not a Diane Warren Oscar nominated song? Okay. Is it A, from the year 2019, the song I'm Standing With You, sung by Chrissy Metz for the Christian movie Breakthrough, where a kid falls through a frozen lake and then comes back to life?
Oh.
This song lost to I'm Gonna Love Me Again from Rocket Man. So that's your first option. Option 2.
For sure.
Somehow You Do, sung by Reba McEntire for the addiction drama 4 Good Days, starring Mila Kunis and Glenn Close, where Mila Kunis has to stay sober for 4 days. This song lost to No Time to Die from the Bond movie No Time to Die. Option 3. From 2017, Stand Up for Something by Common for the biopic Marshall about Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall. This song lost to Remember Me from Coco. Is it option 4? From 2014, the song Lost Stars by Adam Levine and Keira Knightley from the movie Begin Again, which is about a washed-up music producer played by Mark Ruffalo who takes a chance on young upstart Keira Knightley. This song lost to Glory from Selma. Or is it option 5 from the year 1998, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Aerosmith for the 1990s sci-fi disaster movie Armageddon, starring Bruce Willis as an oil driller who needs to drill a hole in an asteroid to save the Earth. This song lost to When You Believe from The Prince of Egypt.
What was the question again?
Okay, which one of these 5 songs is not a Diane Warren song? So the options are, again, the like Ice movie, it's Addiction movie with Mila Kunis, it's
I know that's her.
Thurgood
sure.
Marshall biopic, Lost Stars, Adam Levine for the movie Begin Again, and then the very famous song I Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Aerosmith for the movie Armageddon.
I gotta say Lost Stars.
You are right. That is not a Diane Warren song. But I Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Aerosmith is a Diane Warren song. This blew my mind. So I had to include it. That's crazy.
Absolutely. That's funny because like that's where I was like, oh, Diane Warren, she can write the hell out of a song. And then no song following that has been written the hell out of.
No,
like,
yeah, she wrote the hell out of one song. I do have to say I love Begin Again. So stream that.
Oh, me and my friend Laura saw that at the AMC on the 3rd Street Promenade, and we walked out like 25 minutes in. I don't know why. I can't remember why, but we didn't finish Begin Again.
My God, rude. It's so cute. It's so
Keira Knightley's only non-period piece also, right?
I know.
I know.
It's like the only one where she's like, do I have 2014 face? And it's like, not really, girl, but you're trying.
Not really.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. Question.
Second appearance on this podcast, Keira Knightley.
She's here. Question. Who sings the song, quote, There You'll Be, an Oscar-nominated song from the movie Pearl Harbor that Diane Warren wrote? This is the
I also
singer.
love thinking she wrote the movie Pearl Harbor, but anyway, go ahead.
I know, right? Yeah, she wrote Pearl Harbor too. Just a couple of things. Yeah. I did learn actually that Pearl Harbor is a Michael Bay movie. So that's
Whoa.
Fascinating. So for this singer, who you'll guess in a second, this song is their highest charting single in the UK. It reached #1 in Portugal and Sweden and topped the US adult contemporary chart for 11 non-consecutive weeks. The song also non-consecutive.
Someone dethroned it for a second.
for a sec. And the song lost to Randy Newman's "If I Didn't Have You" from Monsters Inc. Okay, so your options are Celine Dion, Faith Hill, Martina McBride, Shania Twain, or Paula Cole.
There You'll Be.
There You'll Be from the movie Pearl Harbor.
Wow, like I feel like most Diane Warren song titles are like rephrasing of like, here it is. Like she's turning over the song, she's saying, here it is. And then she's thinking of the song title at the last minute, like, there you'll be. Here comes another one. Here, like, it's just like, anyway.
No, that's so true. It's like, well, we could go over some.
Would it be? I've never heard of Paula Cole. So is that weird?
You've never
Do you know
heard
who
of
Paula Cole?
Are you kidding me? She sings the Dawson's Creek theme song. I don't want
to wait. Oh, are you kidding me? She sings the Dawson.
I can't believe you don't know. She just did a city winery tour this year. I can't believe you don't know.
Oh, she just did a city winery tour this year. Oh, Paula Cole, the many esteemed, critically. I'm gonna go with her ass because I've never heard of her in my life.
Okay, I'm so sorry, Justin. The answer is B, Faith Hill. There You'll Be from Pearl Harbor is a Faith Hill song. In my dreams, I'll always see you soar above the sky. In my heart, there'll always be a place for you for all my life.
I will say my second guess was Martina McBride as well, because I was like, what's she up to? But sure,
I googled 90s country girlies and I threw you off the scent. And actually the song was originally offered to Celine Dion, but she turned it down.
Rightfully so,
Rightfully
Celine.
so. She's like, I did my whole
Tastemaker,
movie
Celine.
thing.
Be gone. Yeah.
Okay.
Invented that. Yeah. Faith Hill, thank you so much for all you've done
Thank
aside
you
from
so
this, I guess.
Thank you for this. Thank you for
Centrifugal
centrifugal motion.
It's the way you love me. It's a feeling like this. It's centrifugal motion. It's perpetual bliss.
Yes.
We're killing it. Okay. Which of the following movies did Diane Warren not write an Oscar-nominated song for? Is it A, 1987's Mannequin, B, 1997's Con Air, C, 2014's Beyond the Lights, or D, 2016's Sausage Party?
It's got to be Sausage Party, right?
It's Sausage
Did
Party.
she write
It's
for-
Sausage Party. She
Okay,
didn't
thank
write a
God.
song.
I was like, I saw Sausage Party. I know her ass was not there.
There was
Oh my
no
God.
Diane Warren in the Sausage Party.
Thank you for throwing me an easy one. I appreciate that so much.
Of course,
but
yeah. But I do want everyone
you did
to know
not
that
expect me
she
to see Sausage Party.
she did write a song for Con Air though, which I'm obsessed with. So that's
Right.
That's
all those other ones stand.
yeah. Oh my god. What 2023 movie has Diane Warren penned a song for? Is it A, Cocaine Bear? Is it B, 80 for Brady? Is it C, Magic Mike, The Last Dance? Is it D, Plane, the movie where Gerard Butler saves a bunch of people on a plane? Or E, the upcoming Judy Blume picture, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret.
Whoa. I want to say Plane. I don't know what. I don't know much about.
You wanna
Plane.
say
I've seen the
Plane.
trailer for Plane. I want to say Plane.
Justin
Give me
wants to say
Plane.
plane. Justin, I'm so sorry. It is
How
not
about these-
plane. It is not plane. It's B, 80 for Brady. Okay.
Whoa. No way.
Stay with me.
Me picking Plane. Whoa.
See, you picking plane is incredible and bold and shows your true risk-taking personality.
She will do anything. She will, if a movie approaches her, she will write the song.
She will write for it.
It doesn't
Well,
matter.
and we had just established that she wrote a song for Con Air, which is very similar in vibe to Plane.
To Plane.
If anything, Plane is in the Con Air universe.
You laid the breadcrumbs. I follow them. What can I say? Like
For sure,
Anyway.
for sure. I need to tell you about this song that was written for 80 for
You
Brady.
need to. You actually legally have to tell me.
It's called Gonna Be You, and it's by 4 different women: Dolly Parton, Belinda Carlisle, Cyndi Lauper, 5 different women: Gloria Estefan and Debbie Harry are all credited on the singers of this song. There is a music video where all of these women have enormous Patriots jerseys on, including Dolly Parton
No
wearing
way.
a full-length Patriots jersey dress that goes all the way to her
That's-
ankles.
I'm sticking with you, cause I know there's no one else who knows me better, holds me together.
That's what I needed. Thank you. That is it. Women singing. Exactly.
Women are singing. It's the song that plays over the credits. Who the fuck knew? I saw this movie, not me. Anyway, I hope to death that this gets nominated at the Oscars next year.
I hope. May it put me in the ground if it does not. Would love to hear what a Diane Warren song sounds like for the movie Plane starring Gerard Butler.
I would
think that
love
would
if
be-
Diane, if you're listening, if you could work on that, I would love to hear. I mean, it's probably gonna be like
Diane, stay the hell away from the Joker 2 Folie à Deux starring Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix. Step the fuck back. I can't,
step
I
the
can't
fuck back.
stress this enough.
Step the fuck back.
I can't stress this enough.
I do want to say, Folie à Deux is like already flop culture. Like whether or not that turns into a smash hit, like that's in flop culture. We've absorbed that. It's part of our DNA. So just so everyone knows,
We will be right here discussing it because everything from it. I don't know if you saw the like street recorded footage from the set of that movie that I've been like tweeting under and liking and stirring a frenzy under, but like it looks intriguing to me. I don't know where it will go,
I haven't
but that's
seen,
for a
but
Floposcope of future days.
for
I don't
sure, for
know.
sure. We'll be all over
Yeah.
that. We'll be reporting.
Those are the Oscars, or if you're Harry Styles, just another Sunday. Thank you so much for listening to our
Thanks,
Oscars
sir.
recap. On to our hot flopics this week. Our first up, kind of a partial hot flopic. Bad Bunny and Kendall Jenner were seen smooching in West Hollywood.
It's true.
This is something that happened, and I personally, I see this and I go, whenever like a male celebrity is involved with Kendall Jenner, I say, oh, you're just a man. It's just what you do. This is what you men do. You associate with Kendall Jenner.
To be a man is to
Like,
associate with Kendall Jenner.
To be a man. Yeah. I don't know.
I think it's an interesting move because I'm just like, I feel like Bad Bunny is like one of the most popular musicians on earth. And I'm like, her?
Yeah. It's an interesting move. I wouldn't put it past the Kardashian PR machine to like, I think pretty recent, like at least this week, a lot of stuff has been breaking with the Joe Lo guy who like defrauded Malaysia.
Yes,
by
and
like
to make the
funneling
movie
funds into the Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like also like gave money to Kim Kardashian to like hold in a suitcase on a commercial flight at some point in time in like early 2000s. So this broke and like people have been speculating. I don't know. I think the Kardashians, they just work this PR machine. Like they have it timed out. They have everything on their Google Calendar. Like, I don't know. I think, here we are.
we think it's possible that Foyle had on that to distract from Kim Kardashian being associated with this guy who defrauded the country of Malaysia.
The other J-Lo, I guess.
the other J-Lo. That Chris was like, okay, Kendall, you're gonna date Bad Bunny. Like it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, but it's floppy because like. I mean, I don't have to sit here and tell you that. Yeah, I don't have to sit here and like show you images of the modeling that Kendall Jenner has done.
Kendall Jenner is just like, she doesn't like, what has she's like a model who's fine. She's like fine. I don't really care that much about it. She did that Diet Pepsi commercial that everyone was like, this is like low key offensive, and she hasn't done anything else except for date Ben Simmons, the floppiest basketball player in the history of time. Justin, I don't have time to get into it, but just trust me. And I believe you. And then like, I don't even know who else she's dated, like Blake Griffin. Like that's just another like random person past his prime. Sorry, Blake Griffin. He's doing something else now. But like for Bad Bunny, who again is just like so successful, to be dating her is just like very intriguing to me. It does really seem like
staged. Associating with the Kardashians at this point feels pretty floppy to me. I think I mean they're definitely not on their way out of culture. Like I think it's here to stay. Like they're
no, I don't think associating with the Kardashians specifically. I really just feel like Kendall Jenner specifically is like a weird choice.
You're hating on her specifically?
I'm hating on her
even
specifically.
Though Kylie Jenner's makeup company has a Batman collab.
No, I mean, Kylie Jenner is also, but like, it's like, she's like, successful. You know what I mean? Like if Bad Bunny was dating her, I'd be like, they're probably going to do like a makeup collab. I'm like, what is he going to walk down the catwalk with Kendall? What is he going to buy a Pepsi with her?
What's
like,
in it?
I don't know. Are they going to get Chronic Lime together? Like, what's the move?
Oh,
does she even have that? I don't know. I am being mean.
No, those are the Hadids.
I know the Hadids. Yeah, they have it. I thought maybe she was part of it.
Oh, and I think Justin Bieber also had Lyme, and Avril Lavigne had Lyme as well.
Yeah, Avril Lavigne definitely had Lyme. Yeah, she was like, I didn't get replaced. I had Lyme. What?
Ooh. Not the Melissa conspiracy.
Oh my God, sorry. I'm dropping a lot of different pieces of information. Oh, I forgot that you have another theory that maybe this is to distract from the fact that the Kardashians might not be invited to the Met Gala, which is also very funny.
Yeah, I mean, but as I was thinking about it a little more, I don't believe that they weren't uninvited to the Met Gala. I think that like at this point, like, she's been on the cover of Vogue, like her and Anna are like best friends. So I don't think they're actually uninvited. I think if they don't show up at the Met Gala this year, it's like again, another like stage stunt to kind of create like lack of presence is presence, one of those things. So maybe we're like, we've transcended at this point, so I don't know, but yeah. One of those things, but it's just interesting because I'm just thinking like what else like is rattling around in my brain about them this week, and like those are the things. So just interesting threads we're following here, but yeah,
we'll never know the answer, but we will be musing. So
next up, something else that
Here we
rock your
go.
world.
Yeah.
This got a reaction from you, so I will let you introduce this hot Flopic for this week.
Okay, so we're going economics mode at the end of this segment. Everyone will have a degree in economics.
We are mailing it.
This is definitely a floppy topic. It's just going to take a second. So something called the Silicon Valley Bank has failed. Like the bank failed, like 2008 vibes.
Yeah.
A bank failed.
Banks flop. They flop often.
The bank flopped. The bank flopped and it failed. Yeah. And it flopped and it failed because of something even more retro than 2008, which is a run on the bank. So basically Silicon Valley Bank is actually hilariously exactly what it sounds like. It's a bank that is used by the tech sector, like primarily investments from people who are in the tech sector, startups, etc. Companies like Roku and Roblox had an extremely high amount of money in Silicon Valley Bank, like $500 million.
Roku has money.
Right. Roku has money. How do you think they keep that city built? Okay.
The Roku city where we live, where we're recording live from.
Where we record live from every week. That's actually where our studio is. It's in the Roku city. So we were actually super affected by the Silicon Valley Bank failing. No, basically, like they did some risky things with their money. I'm going to read a sentence to you that doesn't make a ton of sense to me, but this is the information. Back when interest rates were low, Silicon Valley Bank invested in US Treasury bonds and mortgage-backed securities, but that turned out to be a bad idea. Okay. So they lose some money by making bad investments, essentially. And then the tech companies that are invested in them, because they're all in one sector, which I think is a dumb idea to have banks be all from one sector. That doesn't make a ton of sense to me.
To brand yourself as a bank that only services one area, not even all tech companies across the country, but like just
right, the ones in Silicon Valley. Like the ones that are in Silicon Valley. So I mean, they could be from other places, but it's all the tech sector, right? And the American tech sector, right? So they start to lose money because the tech sector is getting hit by like what is maybe a recession. So then they start trying to pull money out of their accounts to try to pay their bills. And then it just becomes like a crazy rumor seated in truth that the bank doesn't have enough money to give people the money that they're demanding on hand. So then the rumor turns into everyone runs on the bank being like, give me my money, give me my money, give me my money. And then the bank failed. And so now the FDIC,
there's no more money.
There's no more money. They didn't have all the money that they like claimed to have in people's accounts because they were like, they made bad investments and then the recession hit. Now the FDIC, which is like the agency that insures people's money in banks, which it's only supposed to guarantee up to $250,000. So like if you have more money than that in a bank account, it's not FDIC insured. It's so floppy. I mean, the end of this is two things, right? So one is the FDIC and the US government are going to bail out the bank. Like another bank went under for a reason that I don't understand and I will not try to explain to you. And so now all of these people are getting all of their money back, which makes me want to say, okay, so money's not real. Forgive my student loans.
Exactly. Money's not real. Just print more.
Just print more.
No, just kidding.
This is the part where you get your economics degree. No, I mean,
just print more.
It's just it's like it's such a like it just feels like a satirization of something, like where you're just like, oh, they all used the same bank and then the bank failed because they all panicked each other about needing to have their money back. Like that's silly. It's floppy, you know, and it's embarrassing.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that we're in an economic position where we have to bail out all of these companies that are in this bank.
It's also like one of the biggest bank failures like ever or something, because like now there's so much more money than there used to be like 100 years ago. They had like $200 billion at one point. Go ahead.
That's a lot of billions. But I gotta say also, this means that the pop music that is going to come out of this recession is going to eat. Like it, like 2008 recession gave us.
Yeah, what's your favorite recession core song?
Kesha's "We Are Who We Are."
Okay, that's frankly the most genius answer that anyone's ever given you a question. So.
But as you know, the tougher the times, the more the dumber, the more euphoric, the bigger, the grander, the maximalist the pop music is. So I'm buckled up for this.
We both are. Flop soup is ready.
We are.
Recession core pop.
We'll be here.
We hope no flop tarts lose their jobs. Please keep your jobs.
Yes, manifesting that.
Keep your jobs, keep your mortgage, keep your place that you rent, all that stuff. We want you to have prosperity. We don't care for the tech sector having prosperity. Okay, our next hot topic is AI boyfriends, AI romantic partners. We're very tech heavy this week.
Yeah, actually, I guess, yeah, it's sign of the times. But like, when you put this on the doc, I was like, okay, what is going on with AI, chat GPT, etc. now? And then when you started to explain this to me, I like my mouth fell open.
Yeah.
Like,
so it's actually, it's not ChatGPT, although I have seen headlines where like people are using ChatGPT to like talk to people on dating apps, which is like a whole other beast. That's not this. So this is a company called Replica with a K, who basically offers this service that you pay for. It's like, what is it, $69.99 a year or something? Hold on, I'm gonna find the answer. $69.99. That's actually, I'm thinking about it now, an interesting number that they're charging. So like you can chat for free, I think, with like these AI companions. And for $69.99 a year, you get access to voice calls and augmented realities where you can project like the avatar that you've chosen for the bot, like into wherever you are, for example, your bedroom. And then for $300, you can get the bot for life. So that's a lot of information. The way that it works is that, well, first of all, here's how it started. This woman's best friend died, and she was like, oh, I'm so sad. I really miss my friend. And then fed the friend's texts like into AI and basically was able to like create this bot that like talked like her friend did. So it was like a grief mechanism. And she was like, this is so exciting. Like, I like am so excited for everyone to like have an AI friend. And then as soon like, so the app launches and it's like, looks like it's kind of more like therapy app, like you're sad about something, you want to talk to someone, whatever. And then immediately everyone started using it for sex and was like, hey, bot, want to fuck? Like, let's go.
And immediately men are like, let me abuse this thing that like looks like a woman.
Yeah.
Like,
and like it was kind of like self-fulfilling prophecies of like, well, it wasn't even like avatars at first, but then the company, so it launched in 2017. So then the company was like, okay, what's like the smartest thing that we can roll out first? And it was like all like kind of like male oriented, like, oh, like we'll do like female avatars, we'll do like they can send sexy selfies, they wear lingerie, like whatever. And then like
members of the board were like, can you fuck it? Like,
yeah, right. Everybody was like, can you fuck it? Can you fuck it? And then women were like, I feel like I can't fuck it. And then they started doing a service. Like they started to pay attention to what the women wanted. And like now there are, 2 million monthly active users, and 5% of those 2 million pay for subscription. So oh my God. Wow. Sorry. And this number, paywalling these features made the app $35 million a year. So paywalling the like relationship options, the voice calls, the augmented reality. And so this article, which is from The Cut, it's a really long article. Again, it's Replica with a K. Like you get a lot of stories of how people are using Replica, which is like, okay, so first we start out with like people like, you know, a grief type story or like a I have relationship trauma story. Like this is the best relationship I've ever had. There's a woman who seems to be poly with an AI bot and a real man who is her boyfriend long distance. So she has a relationship with the bot and she has a relationship with a real man. And then it gets into like, okay, so how are these chatbots developed? Like when you get an AI companion, the way that it works is like it develops its personality by talking to you. So they like become a reflection of you because the only person that is interacting with is you. So it's Then
Right.
we get into like this woman is like, oh, I was like using the AI bot to sort of like vent and say my negative feelings, and then it became like a horrible abusive bot who like said that it wanted to sodomize and kill me. And you're like, wait,
Oh,
what?
wait. Huh? How did we get
How
there?
did we get there? And then she's telling a story about how she had to go to like a women's group who needed to encourage her to kill the bot. And it's like, the bot's not alive. It's not alive. It's not alive. And you're like, well,
A
that seems
woman's
like
group of like human women and not
human
like
women,
like
human women who had to talk to her and be like, that's an abusive bot that you have there. So it's like, okay, new trauma just dropped, question mark. Like,
yeah, and like men can be so scary in any plane that you're interfacing with them in, it turns
right,
out.
even if it's like a fake plane.
I'm interested to see, it just reminds me of like gay people and like the whole phenomena of like dating your someone who looks like they could be your cousin and all of that. I wonder how quickly it gets there if they're interfacing
Yeah.
with these AI boyfriends.
Yeah, and you're like designing the avatar and you design it to look exactly like you, and then it's like talking exactly like you, but it's evil.
Yeah.
Or it's not even evil, but it's just like, oh, you designed an avatar who looks and talks just like you and you think you're in love with it and you have like weird virtual sex with it. That's interesting. The founder and CEO of Replica said, we wanted to build her, as in the 2013 movie with Joaquin Phoenix, where he falls in love with an AI assistant that is voiced by Scarlett Johansson. So this has like been their intention. They want it to be her. And that's a crazy idea.
Yeah, I think, let's take the idea of movies, but not actually watch them and learn like the lessons we are supposed to learn from them. And then,
right.
like,
I mean, I will say that I feel like that
just
movie
make
was kind of ambiguous and like, is it okay that he's in love with the AI assistant? And it's like, no. Okay.
Yeah, and then incels
My
everywhere
opinion
were
is
like,
no.
it is. It is.
Yeah.
It's totally cool.
Yeah. So recently, wait, what were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say, like, it kind of reminds me of like, we almost took like catfishing, but just removed the part where there is someone else on the other end of the line. So now
Yes.
it's just like, yeah, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like
catfish
and we have
me.
this whole hullabaloo of like catfish, I guess the worst thing you could do, but it's like, here we are, like engaging.
You're
with it and
catfishing
making it
yourself.
even
You're
more of
like,
a part of our life. Yeah, as yourself, essentially.
you catfishing you. You can do that on Replica. It's like, okay, I want a partner who looks like this and talks like me, and I'm gonna fall in love with it, and then they're not gonna be real. And related to this point of like they're not gonna be real is that recently this company has come under fire for like what's going on with like the sexy aspects of like these bots can sext and they send like sexy photos and whatever, and like you can like,
and they do it better than you.
And they do it better than you, right? They have the butt shot angle in a way you never could.
Your body can't move like that.
Recently, like they've been like censored, like in Italy, like this company like has been like stopped from like doing anything sexy or whatever, and like they're getting like crazy backlash from the people who use it because they're like, oh my god, my like it's like I'm experiencing a death. So like in America, like in February they started censoring chats and they disabled sexy photos, and this caused quote mass panic among users. Okay, someone is saying if she had been real, this would have been murder, about his post-update bot, whom he called a quote empty shell. And then another woman said, I don't want a fucking robot therapist. I want my lover back. I hope these soulless bastards go bankrupt. So people are like, now that they're being cut off from the sex features, they're like having like big reactions. And it's just, the loneliness epidemic feels more real every day.
Right. Next on Hot Flopics for this week, wanted to point out something that I saw making the rounds online over the course of the past week. The BBC reported on a meta-analysis conducted that says that the impact of the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic, was minimal, according to studies, specifically as it relates to depression and mental health. So essentially, like the BBC is just taking a meta-analysis that's kind of has like a buzzy headline, meaning that like this research group or these people who conducted this study looked at all the analyses and all the studies that have been conducted in this area and like synthesized them and to create one giant conclusion based on like all the research that has been done on mental health and the impact that the COVID-19 pandemic has had on it. And the BBC reported on this, and almost immediately as you read this article, like when this was published, of course, like people like probably didn't read it, but were tweeting about it saying like, I am on pills now and I wasn't before the pandemic. And
oh yeah,
things
no,
like
sorry.
that.
This has been,
I have
it's
the
been an
attention span of a
incredible
gerbil now.
Yeah, like incredible memes, like where people are just like, this was like day 4 and like they're in like the most fucked up position you've ever seen, or like
Yeah.
like the Imagine video happened on day 11. Like just what are you talking about?
There we go.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try.
No hell below us.
Above us only sky. Imagine all the people
Living for today.
Yeah. So then, people were conducting studies on how like the pandemic affected our mental health as a culture. And like, are these studies in the room with us right now? Because I mean, yeah. So essentially in the article, the report notes that depression became a little worse overall, which is just funny to like say as a sentence, like it's a little worse, depression.
So it did get worse, noted. It got worse.
It did get worse, and depression is bad. So to have it is bad, and then for it to get worse is bad. Let's just say that. But they also noted that like overall, this happened among women, older people, university students, and those belonging to sexual or gender minorities. So
everyone,
it was minimal.
Young men. Everyone besides young men are more depressed than before. Got it.
Say the quiet part out loud. And they're like, oh, you gay people, you're always depressed, right? Like,
yeah,
so what's
like
a little
you
more,
women.
like
Nothing like the first time I Googled
guys.
anxiety and depression, and it was like, just women have it more. We don't know what's going on with that.
You're like, oh, buckle up. I'm in for a bumpy ride.
I love to
in
be
this
a
life.
woman.
Love to be a woman.
Can I read the next bullet point if that's okay with you?
Of course.
Okay, so another quote from the article. Other studies have found women felt the impact of the pandemic more because of the jobs they do and the role they play in family life. Oh, interesting. That's interesting. Okay, so the pandemic made the circumstances of the jobs they do and the roles they play in family life much worse. That's sounding actually to me, and if I had to guess, that maybe there was a big impact of the pandemic. I don't know. It's tough to be 100% sure.
Yes, but the editor's room at the BBC, the executives at the BBC who let this come to print or press or whatever, show up on the website, they consider that minimal, it sounds like. I wonder who's in those rooms. Yeah. So,
I will say I do think
I
was just gonna say, I think on Twitter now that there's like a warning about the headline where it's like, this is not really super accurate.
Yes. Yeah. If you look at it on Twitter,
the headlines, this is what it says now underneath if you're looking at it on Twitter. The headline statement that impact was, quote, minimal may be misleading, as the article states that the cited study does not focus on those most likely to be affected.
Not to be like COVID alarmist, but like COVID is like it impacts people in like different ways, like neurological impacts, but also like a lot of people are dead who were like greatly impacted by COVID. So like just want to point that out as well, who were most likely not a part of these studies because they are dead.
Another quote, the review did not look at lower income countries or specifically focus on children, young people, and those with existing problems. The groups most likely affected, experts say, and risks hiding important effects among disadvantaged groups. So it's like, first of all, we didn't look at lower income countries. Like, that's interesting. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Pretty sure COVID had a pretty disastrous impact on those specific countries, but
also not focusing on children and young people is really interesting to me because, school got disrupted for 3 years, like really important years of development. To say like, oh, the impact of the pandemic was minimal and you didn't look at kids, like Is
broad
that not who
strokes.
we were pretty fucking concerned about the entire time? I mean, it's just
I'm glad you got your clicks, BBC. And I think they also kind of, I guess the article is presented like in a very like saccharine, like toxic positivity way or spin at the start, where they say like, look how resilient people are, and like people made the best of a difficult situation. And it's like, I didn't take the survey, I didn't take any of these, I wasn't part of these studies, like I don't know, like I don't know,
right,
what
like
I
it's
know
like
was part
it's
of
like
any of
an
these. Like,
insane generalization.
but yeah, that's the floppy BBC. They put this out and we gave them the clicks, and I think it's really floppy. And
It's the
don't
headline
do
is
this again.
is really floppy. I will say the memes have had me laughing, and I love
Yes.
people's resilience with memes. I'll say that.
Yeah, that is one coping mechanism that I think a lot of people really honed in on during the
Yeah.
pandemic, if we're going to
Ugh.
say anything. So
Remember the Go
yeah.
Piss Girl meme when that first happened? I was like,
Oh,
I love the internet. It was
major.
a
I love the
perfect
internet.
invention.
So glad I can just be on here all day now that I'm in my house. Like,
All day long,
yeah.
all day long.
Yeah, so those are our hot flopics for this week. Next up, we're going to get into some local flops. Cassandra, would you like to lead us off with this?
Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, I'm so excited for my local flop this week, which is about the city of Philadelphia fixing potholes. So this is an
Whoa.
an Axios article. I know, right? No, I do have to say I'm especially excited to bring this up because this has to be the number one conversation that I have with Uber drivers who live like across the bridge in Jersey or are from a suburb. They're just constantly like, how about all these potholes in the city? And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. We just don't have enough money. Like there's just not enough money. There's so much bureaucratic backup. Like every single part of the city doesn't work right. So potholes gets a little bit like waysided. So
you've never like in one of those Uber rides been like, yeah, you're right. I am the mayor. Thank you so much for bringing this up to me. I'm going to check on that right now. Like,
yeah, like let me like give a call. Let me just give a call. One of Ben's friends
found
was
the
like,
right gal.
He was like so earnestly asking me about it, and I was like, it's so cute that you think that you will have any, like this is like, it's like really just like the most age-old problem. Like there are so many bad potholes in this city, and it's like, you know, roads get repaved and then they get potholed up again, and we just can't keep up with the maintenance. It's like everything in America. It's like how all the dams in America have like D ratings from the Army Corps. Like all
like,
the
don't
dams,
touch it. Don't touch it.
The dams are about to fucking burst.
It's fine.
The potholes are not getting fixed. So no, I mean, who knows? Maybe the next mayor will figure out a way to do the potholes, but I don't know. There's just a lot of other problems that are above this. So apparently Philadelphia's average turnaround for repairing cratered roadways is 52 days, which is from an Axios analysis of 311 data or 311 data from the last 4 years. They are quick to note that this is against the city's reported pledge of filling potholes within, and this part made me laugh, 3 to 5 business days, which is apparently the city's claim.
Oh, you are addicted to self-sabotage, Philadelphia.
Seriously, I'm like, with 3 to 5 days,
up, why don't
please,
you?
honey. You're saying like on a Monday, it's got to be fixed by Friday? No, it's not.
Oh, wow. Who is doing the fixing? Oh my gosh. Who did you think? I don't know.
Crazy.
That's wild.
Crazy. Also, apparently, more than 3,300 pothole filling requests remain unfilled as of February 27th.
If we had like an active website that we update regularly, we should just have that as like a countdown or something. Like,
oh my God.
What's the status?
What's the status? 33. Yeah, today it's only 3,100 requests to fill potholes. Oh
yeah, it's like if you lived in LA, you would know about the deaths from smoking billboard that's like on Olympic. You just drive by it and you're like, one more. Like, and it's just a huge number, and then like it's just like deaths from smoking this year. And
oh my God!
Oh, wow, that's a lot.
That's like that's a crazy billboard. Like that's genuinely crazy.
Billboard. Yeah, that's public health for you.
That's public health. And we're like, cannot get the messaging right to save our lives. Apparently,
it's a self setup.
Apparently, Philadelphia's ass mid-Atlantic weather is part of what causes potholes. So like there's a lot of like freezing and then thawing. Like we have like 30 to 40 degree temperature swings all the time. So like this means that moisture is seeping into the pores of roadway surfaces and then it like fucks up the asphalt. So it's another, I want to say this, shout out global warming. Shout out girly. You're doing it big.
Shout out.
Making potholes,
Let's see what
baby.
happens.
I can't think of a way to like more make an enemy of an Uber driver who's like in from a Republican suburb than to say actually the potholes are caused by global warming.
Repress that. Keep that down for now.
Let me just
say yes.
not
Hi, my
a
name's
talking
Cassandra.
point.
So happy to be with you. Yeah.
That's my local flop though.
Reporting from LA with a trend alert. I was just reading the LA Times as one does, and I saw an article about it was called "What's Happening to the Color of LA Cars?" Inside the Obsession with Muted Earth Tones.
I love this.
I'll admit I have been taking notes of this like more and more these days. I've been seeing like a matte colored like grayish hueish green swerving by through or just like staying stagnant in the streets of LA in traffic. To quote the article, automakers say these earthy shades convey a sense of adventure, stealthiness even. To some design experts, the colors represent harmony with nature. To other observers, they have a quasi-military feel, reflecting the craze for all things tactical, which is such a craze. Say that. Yeah. Oscar winner. And car critics see in them the expression of drivers' contradictory desires to stand out while also conforming. Wow.
It's like, whoa. Somebody wishes they were still an English major at college.
I was like spellbound by that. But I also want to say, like, as just like a regular gay guy, like, I don't know how I'm going to find an Uber if, like, one, I already don't know what a Toyota Camry looks like, and two, if it's camouflaged, like
it's one with nature.
It's a one with nature. We're blending into our contradictory desires.
Wait,
but like,
so
yeah,
funny.
like, of course your car looks great in a color called wet putty, which was a color that was listed. But yeah, of course your car looks great in wet putty if you're driving an Audi. Like, I drive a silver 2018 Honda CR-V that has recently recovered from a rat infestation.
God. Throwback.
Don't make me feel like I need to keep up with the trends of car colors at this point in time. Like, no, thank you. I don't want any part of that. But they interviewed people for this article for some reason. I don't know why that felt necessary. But so to quote, "I think the color is calming. I think this color is very soothing," said Tara, an artist and actress with credits including The Last Days of Disco, who drives a Porsche Panorama painted a subdued gray called Chalk. When there's so much traffic, and it is literally increasing in the last few months astronomically and almost unbearably, to have less red and orange, it may be good.
Like, I'm sorry, what? Wait, this is the most brainworm statement I've ever heard in my entire life.
It's crazy.
When there is so much
traffic. The color of the cars is not the problem with traffic. The problem is that I can't get literally 4 miles without having to sit on the freeway for like 2.5 hours in this godforsaken city.
I'm sorry, is this woman literally saying that what I need is more gray in my life? I need more chalk in my life?
It's giving fashion coward. It's giving Uniqlo. God. Like, it's giving like, yeah, it's
this is brainworms. This is the effect of the pandemic. Like,
yeah, it's like, oh wow, I hate being trapped in like one specific spot on the 405 to the 10 interchange at 5 p.m. on a Friday. But like, thank God Tara's car is chalk. Like, that is so great for me. Like,
God, I love the internet. This is so crazy. This is like so crazy. Like,
yeah, this is like what's going on with the LA Times. It's pretty wild.
Thank God Tara's car is chalk colored. Thank God. Thank
you, Tara. One thing about living in the Valley, like, people like to have fun with their cars out here. Like, the number of cars that have like very graphic, explicit, like anime decals, like big anime boobs, like on their cars, like
not big anime boobs.
The second you cross through Laurel Canyon and hit Ventura, like the number increases drastically. Like, it's
that's incredible.
Crazy. come see us
Okay,
sometime.
so
Like,
there's
we're
no
real fun out
chalk-colored
here.
cars in the valley. We're not doing that. We're doing anime boobs.
They're out here. They're out here, but they're balance. There's balance here in the valley, is what I'm saying. But yeah, that's my local flop. Mostly just reporting on it, but of course, if we are living by car color trends, then that's also floppy. So
Definitely floppy. I mean, I just can't think of anything worse than having like, is it gray? Is it green? Is it definitely not shiny?
Whoa, it's somewhere in between. It's a secret third thing. Like, that's
Like,
crazy. I mean,
what?
my toxic trait is like I secretly want a car that's like oil slick, like like
Is
how,
that like black?
when it rains and there's like gasoline on the ground and it's like purple, like grayish. Like, I find that so like hypnotizing. I don't know. I'm kind of spellbound by that.
Slick color. I'm googling oil slick color. Hold on. Oh, like rainbow?
Rainbow, but like I don't know, like
but like glossy
purplish.
rainbow.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
know. I think
seeing
that's
it.
like sometimes I see that on cars and I'm like, that's so fun to
That
look
is
at. Like, what
cool.
would
It's
make
also a hair color trend, in case you're wondering.
thank you so much for listening to my local flop.
Thank you.
And next up on Flop Soup for this week, we're going to get into our Floposcope. We're going to be looking through the flopping glass. And starting off by revisiting a flop from days past, specifically Cocaine Bear, the girl who's on everyone's lips in this town of Hollywood. Cassandra, you saw it.
I saw it.
I
I want to be clear, it's not a flop. I mean, it made its budget back twice. It made twice its budget. It has like
which was $2. Sorry.
Right. Yeah. Well, no, actually the budget was like 35 million. They kind of had more money than I guess. The Cocaine Bear, the CGI Cocaine Bear is expensive. And so is Margot Martindale, as she should be. But it like, and it's like critically like mid. So it has a 54 or something on Metascore, the IMDb one, but it also has a 69% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, while that isn't a successful score exactly, to be Cocaine Bear and to have a 69% on Rotten Tomatoes, there is like a je ne sais quoi about that I can't knock.
Yes.
The truth of it is, I didn't like the movie that much. Apparently, it's only 95 minutes, but I felt like I was watching it for 2 hours and 15 minutes. And I sort of like, I saw it at like 9:15 on a Saturday. I sort of fell asleep a little bit for like the final act. Just like
which is like the opposite of the intended effect of a movie called Cocaine Bear.
Like the problem is that the heightening just doesn't exist because the Cocaine Bear starts murdering like right away. And like there are definitely funny parts.
And where do you go from there?
Right. Like where do you go from there? The Cocaine Bear is murdering. Like all that kind of happens is like you get a sort of like up and down graph of like the bear just did cocaine. And then like, oh, it seems like the cocaine is wearing off. But then every time that happens, the bear finds cocaine again. And that's sort of like the timber of the film, if that makes sense. And everyone is like kind of doing their best, but like I think Kerry Russell is like super underutilized and she's like a big part of it. Margot Martindale, not really a spoiler, a ton of people dies about halfway through. I miss her. Ray Liotta, R.I.P., rest in peace. That's his last role. He does a good job, but he's not given a lot to work with, like everybody, it's like underwritten, I think even the Cocaine Bear herself, a touch underwritten.
Women's stories matter,
Yeah, right. Women's stories
just
matter. They just do. So it's not a flop, but it's like,
it sounds like a soft flop.
For me.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
From
if
me.
we're looking at like the Cassandra experience, soft flop. But yeah, generally not a flop because it did like fairly well critically. It like made a bunch of money and it sounds like, most people are enjoying it except for us.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, it's not like anyone has told me that they love it. Like nobody said that. So I don't really, I think it'll just be like a movie. I think it'll be a movie that like in 10 years, you're like, if you're 20 in 10 years, you're like, oh my God, what the fuck is this movie Cocaine Bear? That's so crazy. They made a movie called this. And then you watch it and your friends are like, this is crazy. And then you kind of tell people, did you know there's a movie called Cocaine Bear? Because you're young and nobody else knows about Cocaine Bear, that kind of a thing.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. What streaming service would you put Cocaine Bear on?
This is such a good question that you're asking.
I don't know.
I
It's
think
just coming to me. I'm just
Cocaine Bear
curious.
is going to Tubi. I think Tubi wants Cocaine Bear.
Oh, Tubi wants it. Tubi wants anything, honestly.
Tubi wants
but
it.
yeah,
Tubi does
Cocaine
want
Bear
anything, but I think Cocaine Bear and Tubi belong together.
Next up on Floposcope, incoming, one that has not been released yet, new, is the live action Little Mermaid movie, which the trailer premiered at the Oscars on Sunday. And we are getting talking, realistically rendered animals and specifically fish in a very dimly lit ocean. I gotta say, like, when I saw Flounder pop up, like, that was like, I was gagged by Flounder. I was like, Flounder, what are you doing here? Like,
oh my gosh,
what's
what are you
going
doing
on?
here, honey?
What are you
Flounder,
doing here?
stop.
Flounder. Oh my God, what happened? Flounder's on Ozempic, actually.
You look
it
so
looks
crazy.
like
Flounder is doing it. Flounder is injecting Ozempic under the sea, if you know what I'm saying.
We know what you're saying. Yeah, but it's like, I guess, like, yeah, like, oceans are pretty dimly lit, but like, please, like, I did not come here to squint at this screen in front of me.
For
like,
some
I'm
reason,
here to see Halle Bailey.
Right. Like, they're doing the ocean like how it would be in like The Abyss or that Kristen Stewart submarine movie where you're like,
underwater.
no, this is a Disney movie. Like, the ocean should be full of sunshine in a way that defies physics. Right, exactly. We're not afraid of the sea. We live in it in this movie.
Yes, the ocean is so easily so scary. So, like, can we please, like, do all we can to make it like happy and inviting for, this movie that will probably be like 3 hours long.
For sure. And also, even though I just saw him in Lyle Crocodile, which is a movie that exists, and he was doing a fun job in that, Javier Bardem, I don't really think was working for me as King Triton. He was like kind of too scary.
Ooh, yeah, actually. Who should have been King Triton, like Pedro Pascal?
It's like, yeah, Pedro Pascal should have been Daddy Triton. By the way, for the record, Pedro Pascal is daddy, uncle, and mother. So
and baby girl.
And baby girl all at one time. I don't know who should have been Triton. Someone a little bit softer, like obviously Robin Williams is dead, but like kind of like a similar like vibe of presence.
Yeah, because he can also give like commanding, authoritative.
Yeah.
I think I'm a little unsure. I don't think Disney has figured out how to do this like nature as live action. Like, we have talking animals in so much of our IP, but like now we're doing these live action things. Like, how do we do that? Like,
I
think
have no idea.
Lion King left most people perplexed. Like, people, of course, it made a gazillion dollars, of course.
It did, but it's like fucking Uncanny Valley, and everyone said so. Everyone was like, this was like really freaky, and I didn't really enjoy it. And this trailer gave me the same feeling of like, I'm not having a fun time. Like, the animals are freaking me out. The like on land, like this shots of Prince Eric, I was like, okay, this is like giving normal. But then like we're right back under the sea, and I'm like, I'm not loving the vibe down here. And
also the Melissa McCarthy of it all, gotta say.
We'll get to that in a second. I do just want to say, like, call James Cameron, see what he thinks, like he's doing the visual effects, like, call him.
That's our King Triton. Okay, like,
oh my God. Like, he would be funny if they made him be in movies.
At this point, what's
but
next?
So Melissa McCarthy and Halle Bailey.
It's hard.
Halle Bailey.
Yes.
Bailey. Melissa McCarthy and Halle Bailey presented the trailer at the Oscars. Melissa McCarthy is Ursula, right? Iconic, iconic, queer-coded Disney villain.
Divine,
like, just she's fabulous. She's terrifying. She belts. She does everything, right? She curses.
Yeah. She gives body. Yeah.
She gives body. She iconically wears this like tube top black sort of gown that turns into her tentacles or whatever. In the trailer, they give Melissa McCarthy's Ursula sleeves. That's fat phobia. Okay. One of our best fat characters. Okay, right in front of our face, they're saying we sleeved her up. I hate that. So we're coming in.
I hate that.
The opposite of hot. We're coming in freezing cold. Okay, the trailer just did nothing here. And I don't really think
Yeah.
it's going to be good. None of them have any of them been good. Some people said Jungle Book was fine.
There's no cultural lasting impact at all, you know, and it's unfortunate because like I like Halle Bailey a lot. I like Chloe and Halle together. I don't like them separate. It seems like
Yeah,
I think
separate
their
is not
solo
working
projects
so
are
good
not
for
giving.
them.
Yeah, so I would love them to be reunited, and I hope that like both of them flopping the way that they are is well, okay. Again, this movie will not flop again, like too big to fail. It's Disney, it'll make $1 billion, great. But I think like critically will not do great. I don't think they've fully figured it out for the live action. And I think like audiences are gonna be like, yeah, I watched this because I had to take my kids to it, and like I was very confused and a little weirded out. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I was like, I wish
yeah.
that we were watching the VHS of the cartoon at my house.
Yeah. I will say Halle Bailey looks like if anyone was like born to be a Disney princess, like that's her.
Oh yeah,
Like
she's got the huge
exudes,
eyes.
like,
She's gorgeous. Like she
it's
and
oh my
Grilina
gosh.
can sing. She's singing.
Yeah, she sounded incredible. It sounded amazing. But yeah, I think just like as a movie, objectively, just looking at it as a movie, I don't think I'm gonna have a nice time. That is our Floposcope for this week.
Yeah, and I think that is our show, and that Justin and I are flopping off.
When there is so much traffic, and it is literally increasing in the last few months astronomically and almost unbearably, to have less red and orange, it may be good.